this is absolutely pathetic. The fact that we're still talking about games not even hitting 30 frames per second on console in 2024 is just insane to me. This was a huge part of the last generation, and the discourse surrounding the PS4 and Xbox One is that there were so many games that didn't hit 60 FPS. Well, Dragon's Dogma 2 isn't even getting to 30 on the PS5. And the really fucked up thing here is that the PS5 and Series X, when they launched, were very powerful consoles. The most powerful consoles we've had at launch probably since the PS3 and 360 in 05 and 06. But what happened was the first 3 or 4 years of the current gen life cycle, the power of those consoles were never really utilized. The vast majority of first-party titles for Xbox and PlayStation all were released on last-gen consoles as well. Think of Halo Infinite, think of God of War Ragnarok, Horizon 2, and the vast majority of third-party games as well. The new Call of Duty game that just came out a few months ago is also available on PS4 and Xbox One, which is crazy. Because if you look at the same point in time last generation, by the time we were 2 years into the PS4 and Xbox One's life cycle, Call of Duty was already pretty much moving on from the last gen and focused entirely on current gen. Yes, Black Ops 3 did have a PS3 and 360 version in 2015, but it was outsourced to a different studio and it was a piece of shit, so it doesn't really count. But by the time Infinite Warfare came out in 2016, 3 years after the Xbox One and PS4 release, it was exclusive to the current gen and was no longer supported on last gen consoles. We're finally at the point now where they're finally starting to move on from last gen, but now we're getting to the point where it's been so much time, so many years, that yes, now even the PS5 and Series X are starting to struggle with some of these games. But that's not really the main reason why Dragon's Dogma 2 struggles to hit 30 on the PS5. Capcom says during intense gameplay moments, its average frame rate is 24. That actually has a lot less to do with the capabilities and power of the PS5. I mean, in part, it does have to do with that, but it has more to do with the fact that the game does not have a performance mode option, so it's 4K 24 frames per second. You can't downscale to 1440p or downscale to 1080p. You're stuck playing the game at 4K, which will look beautiful, but it'll run like a fucking slideshow because it's gonna be way below 30 FPS. And I'm just thinking, who in their right fucking mind would rather play a game in 4K 24 FPS than play it 1440p, probably close to 60 FPS if you had that option? And weirdly enough, it doesn't have a frame rate cap, so that even further destabilizes the game, because at least if it had a 30 FPS cap, it would actually run a lot better and more consistently. So on the PC, you don't have to worry about being at the mercy of developers and publishers deciding whether or not they want to put a performance mode in the game, because every game on PC by default has a performance mode. You can customize whatever you want, the resolution, the frame rate cap, VSync, fucking anti-aliasing, all of that shit. You can change all of that for every single game so that it can cater to your machine and your preferences. On console, you can only do that for a select number of games. It's not even like you can't change a whole bunch of settings, it's just the resolution so that you can run at a higher frame rate, and that's it. Like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth does have a performance mode option, but it's like so inconsistent on console. PC, you have a consistently good experience across the board, and you really can't name anything anymore that console does better than PC. It's just, we're long past the days of plug and play, where console is so much more convenient than PC, it's cheaper than PC. We haven't had that in years. Why do you think that I, the most notorious console fanboy in the history of the internet, now talks about how much better PC is than console gaming? Because it's just, you can't deny reality. At a certain point, you have to accept the way things are. And the way things are is that console gaming has been declining for the past 15 years or so, and PC has been thriving, and it just does everything better than console. And it's even cheaper in the long run. If you have a PS5 over a 5-year period, you have to spend a minimum of $800 just to get started, assuming you have PlayStation Plus, which you need to have in order to play the games online, and also the digital PS5. Because if you get the other one, then it's $100 more, so you'd be actually spending $900 over a 5-year period without buying any games, which is pretty much the price that you would have to spend to get a PC that is the equivalent in terms of graphics to a PS5. Now actually you can get it for cheaper because the parts have gotten cheaper since the launch of the PS5 in 2020. So it really is a no-brainer. If you still play on console in 2024, there's something wrong. You need to really evaluate things and come to the realization that you're getting scammed and you're not playing these games the way they're meant to be played. When you add in things like crossplay, the fact that PlayStation and Xbox are both putting their games on PC anyway, there is literally zero benefit of owning a console over a PC. So do yourself a favor, if you're a console peasant, switch over to PC. It'll be so much better for you in the long run, and your gaming experience will be 10 times better.